Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Main Source Bank, headquartered in Greensburg, Indiana, offering products and services to fit every stage of life. More information at mainsourcebank.com. Main Source, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Tourists flock to Brown County for the hiking, the shopping, and other recreation. But what's it like for the people who live there year-round?
If we're going to do something new or incremental, we want to look in the mirror and say, Dave, is that going to improve the quality of life of people here in Brown County?
Coming up, how the county's future is being impacted by a declining population. 2 separate investigations into the finances of the Utilities District of Western Indiana are underway, and one is being led by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Why did I decide to roam? Plus, music is helping older adults who struggle with memory loss.
But there's nothing like seeing your important person light up.
Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. There are 2 separate investigations into the finances at the Utilities District of Western Indiana. As Sarah Whitmire reports, the FBI is conducting its own investigation that's independent from the review ordered by the co-op's board of directors.
In March, we first reported on UDWI. Our investigation started because the co-op's customers were paying the highest rate in the state for their electricity. Data we collected from the U.S. Energy Administration shows that UDWI was only spending about 53% of what it was charging customers on the actual purchase of energy. Over the last 5 years, tax records show that more than $15 million of excess earnings have been reported. CEO Brian Sparks told us all of that money would go back to the co-op members.
We're not for profit, so whatever we have, eventually we return.
And Sparks declined multiple times to explain where the money is. Fast forward to last month, when co-op customers elected 3 new members to serve on the board. All 3 ran as change candidates and promised to look into the district's finances. Less than a month into their tenure, the board held a special meeting and unanimously decided to conduct an independent audit and put Sparks on paid leave while it was conducted.
Their desire is that it would clear the air, that everybody would know one way or another we have taken our proper steps, conducted due diligence to make sure that our members can have confidence in their cooperative.
That was last Thursday. While we were talking to Chapman, the FBI was launching its own investigation. On Friday, agents returned to UDWI and visited the tree clearing company owned by the co-op called Hoosier Heritage. The co-op started Hoosier Heritage Management here in Worthington in 2013. They said they just weren't getting the service that they required from other tree cutting companies. Now they say things have certainly gotten better and improved under Hoosier Heritage Management, but with that, the cost has also gone up. UDWI's costs have increased from about $720,000 in 2012 to more than $2 million in 2015.
Does it cost more than what we were getting before? Absolutely. But we're not getting the same product we were before. Okay. So it's kind of hard to make an apples to apples comparison there.
UDWI doesn't provide administrative services or management of Hoosier Heritage. The easiest way to think of it is UDWI is a customer of Hoosier Heritage, but Sparks was a member of the Hoosier Heritage Board. Hoosier Heritage is a for-profit company, unlike UDWI. And 2015 tax returns show Hoosier Heritage had a $323,000 profit. We reached out to Hoosier Heritage board member Denny Green about whether that money was given to UDWI to return to its members. He said he was not at liberty to respond or discuss this situation. The UDWI board hasn't started its internal audit yet, but the co-op says it will fully support the findings of that audit and the FBI investigation when those reviews are complete. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Sarah Whitmire.
And an ongoing story will continue to follow, especially as we learn more about what those investigations find. Now, for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brosier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. Republican Representative Luke Messer is defending his wife's lucrative contract with the Indianapolis suburb of Fishers. An Associated Press report shows Jennifer Messer makes $20,000 a month through a legal services contract with the city, despite working remotely from the Washington area. The Indiana congressman, who's considering a Senate run, defended the arrangement in a statement, saying his wife, quote, is the brains of the Messer outfit. The search is back on for a new Vigo County jail location. Vigo County commissioners are withdrawing their previous choice for the new jail. That location was along the Wabash River in Terre Haute. Some city leaders and residents argue that area is designated for commercial and recreational use. Plans for the new jail have been in the works since a 2002 jail overcrowding lawsuit. Marsh Supermarkets plans to close all remaining 44 locations in the next 60 days unless the chain can find a buyer or business partner. The chain of grocery stores filed for bankruptcy Thursday. The company already closed 21 low-earning locations, sold its pharmacy business, and stopped selling hard alcohol this year. Duke Energy is publicly presenting its plans for how it will dispose of 9 million tons of coal ash stored at a power plant it shuttered last year. Arsenic, lead, and other heavy metals can leach from coal ash pits. Duke plans to remove an estimated 3.6 million tons of ash from 2 of the Wabash River generating station's ash ponds, move that to 3 other ponds, and cap them with a liner. The energy company invited residents in Terre Haute to a meeting where company officials were on hand to answer questions one-on-one.
If something blows here, it's not just going to affect Terre Haute, it's going to have a widespread effect. And a lot of people, like the entire campus of Indiana State University is on groundwater, which is across the street from the Wabash. So think about that.
State environmental officials must approve Duke's disposal plans, which include testing the site's groundwater monitoring wells at least twice a year. Duke filed its plans in December with the Indiana Department of Environmental Management. A provision in the state's next 2-year budget sets aside over $5 million to pay for an elaborate plaza constructed outside the State House and upgrades to the state library. But funding for the rest of the projects Governor Mike Pence planned to celebrate the state's 200th year has not materialized. The bill totals over $50 million. It includes financing for a new state archives building and money to build an inn at a state park in northern Indiana. The Presidential Advisory Commission on Election Integrity includes Indiana's Secretary of State, Connie Lawson. She's joining that commission, which is tasked with looking at the public's confidence in the integrity of the voting system. The long-awaited panel follows President Trump's unsubstantiated allegations that millions of people voted illegally in the 2016 election. And the Trump administration named 10 judges and other law professionals it plans to nominate for key posts. Among them is Notre Dame professor Amy Coney Barrett. She's nominated to serve on the 7th Circuit. Barrett was a law clerk for the late Justice Antonin Scalia. Terre Haute Mayor Duke Bennett says the new road funding bill passed by the General Assembly last month will mean almost double the amount of funds for the city's paving budget.
We're still getting the same amount of money, basically. When I took office in 2008, that's about what we're getting, this year, the same amount, yet costs go up every year. And so the money it just doesn't go as far.
The bill will generate about $1.2 billion a year through an increase in vehicle fees and gas taxes. The money will be split between state and local governments. A collaboration between Riley Physicians for Children at IU Health and Susie's Place Child Advocacy Center will provide victims of child sexual abuse a free forensic medical exam in Bloomington.
We had the medical exams, the rape kits for adult victims of sexual assault, but we didn't have anything like that for the pediatric cases. So the kids were referred up to Riley's Children's Hospital up in Indianapolis. And often what happened is that after the referral was made, they didn't wind up going.
Gall says having limited access to the tests could render an abuse investigation incomplete. The medical exam program also provides follow-up health care and counseling referrals for victims. The Prepared for Environmental Change initiative aims to find actionable solutions to environmental threats facing Hoosier businesses and communities. Indiana University announced the $55 million research partnership this week as part of its Grand Challenges program. The initiative brings together researchers, community partners, and businesses to collect data and facilitate action.
We know the population increases, the demand for energy is going up, the demand for water is going up, and so that is actually a real risk to our business. So if we're not out there and we're not taking action to address those, then I think we're failing our shareholders and others.
IU says the project will get underway as early as this summer when researchers begin the data collection process. And Joe, it'll be interesting to see where that research leads them.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk, we'll show you the healing power of music for those suffering with dementia. And we'll explain what it takes to pack up and move an art museum. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
I can change the world with my own two hands, make it a better place with my own two hands. I'm gonna make it a brighter place with my own two hands. I'm gonna help the human race with my own two hands. I can hold you in my own two hands, and I can comfort you with my own two hands, with my own two hands.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. The Brown County School District is cutting its budget by nearly $1 million because of declining enrollment. The district is down more than 100 students just this year, but the source of the problem is complicated. Lindsay Wright joins us now from Brown County with more.
Joe, 3 million visitors come in and out of Brown County each year, many of them to visit the town of Nashville right behind me. But what's it like to actually live in Brown County? While the county is facing several challenges, including a declining population, members of the Redevelopment Commission are focused on what they call enhancing the county's quality of life. At the Cornerstone Inn, located in the heart of Nashville, you'll find a quaint wraparound porch with rocking chairs, a friendly staff, and you might run into Bruce Gould. Gould co-owns the inn with his wife and has lived in Brown County for more than 30 years.
I know so many people around here, and I know so many things and places. I'm really familiar with things around here, and so I really like that feeling that I don't just live in my house and I don't just own this business. I mean, this is my town.
Although Gould loves where he lives, he, along with several others, acknowledge the county isn't keeping up with the passing of time. The county is struggling with a declining population. That impacts schools, businesses, and ultimately the county's livelihood. Data from the state paints a pretty dismal picture. The numbers show the county's population decline will continue through 2050.
So if you're not growing, costs continue to increase with inflation. So, when you start looking at those trends from a development side standpoint, we're kind of concerned, saying, okay, we know what that future might look like. What do we need to do now?
Well, now they're making a plan. Members of the Redevelopment Commission say the current focus is gathering talent and thought leaders, and frankly, as many community members as possible to brainstorm initiatives and come up with future plans to better some of the problems. The county is one of 5 areas in the state to receive a Hometown Collaborative Initiative grant through the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. Clark says the HCI program will teach Brown County leaders how to improve the community.
Well, that's pretty important when you look at making change within a county, within a community. What is that method? And the HCI will give us that pipeline, so to speak, of talent, of leadership, and a method for tackling these issues, because change is tough, always is.
The Redevelopment Commission is also pushing forward with a county-wide master plan. It's going to apply for a $40,000 and $50,000 state grant to fund it, but Clark says creating a master plan is a somewhat lengthy process. He's currently working on a county income survey, which is needed to apply for the grants.
Once we have the list for surveys, it's 5 months to do an income survey, it's 2 months to apply for a grant, it's 5 months to execute the grant. So we're looking at early to mid 2018 for the master planning that we have funded by the state.
Redevelopment Commission President David Redding says he thinks the most valuable resource the county has is the people. In order to come up with the best solutions for the community, he says the county must work as a team.
So where there's a board, we want to come in from an RDC perspective and support them and help them and enable them, encourage them, be their biggest cheerleader.
And the schools are on that team too. The county's population decline trickles down to Laura Hammock's district. The hallways at Brown County schools are less crowded, and fewer students means less money to cover the district's expenses. The big task Hammock sees is attracting young families to Brown County.
We feel like they are really supporting the strategy and the systems approach to really trying to move both the county and the school district together and forward.
If you think about that chain and you think about all these strong leadership focal points along that chain, how can it not make a difference?
Redding says the county is on the right track, and more people are volunteering their time to work on these various initiatives. Gould says he can feel the momentum, but he's ready to see the changes actually made.
Comes a time you need to quit doing studies and do something tangible. So we're reaching that point, I think, where something has to change.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Lindsay Wright.
The Sidney and Lois Eskenazi Museum of Art at Indiana University is closing next week for renovations. The $30 million project will include the addition of several new spaces, but as J.D. Gray reports, before work can begin, moving crews have to pack up all the current exhibits.
In the shop at the Eskenazi Museum of Art, a team is packing pieces of art in preparation for the museum's temporary closure. Construction on large improvements to the museum starts later this year.
We have to move everything off-site, and we can't leave anything in the building during the renovations. And it's just not like books or household items that we might, put into a box and stick it in the back of our car and move it.
To move the art, the museum is building crates and boxes for the art specifically for this project. Boxes are cut with a box-making machine the museum acquired about a month ago.
I think folks know what packing is all about. Everyone's moved. But one thing that's different is that everything we're moving is, if not priceless, incredibly expensive. And you have to move it as if no one's ever touched it or will ever touch it.
It's about 45,000 objects and counting. And I think what makes it really different than other kinds of moves is that every object is its unique size and shape and form and material.
Broccolenti says many fragile pieces are susceptible to vibration and changes in humidity.
When things get packed, then the registrars work with each of the packers to record exactly what goes into a crate, or maybe it might be a lot of pieces going into a crate. We record all of that, we barcode it, and then that gets put into our database system.
Packing began in October of last year, and crews hope to be finished with that part of the process by September. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm J.D. Gray.
And a group of Indiana University students is helping adults struggling with dementia connect with their past through familiar songs. Reporter Barbara Brozier is back. Barbara, how does that work?
Well, Joe, it's part of a national program called Music and Memory, which works with facilities to set up iPods containing playlists for each person. The idea is that songs from their lives will help trigger feelings of happiness or even specific memories. And as you'll see, the results are nothing short of remarkable. We all have that one song. Why did I decide to roam? The moment you hear the first notes, it comes over you. And in some cases, you're transported to the past.
You just see somebody, this, life force coming out of the eyes and bodies of people, and it changes you.
This group of seniors is participating in a weekly music therapy session at Better Day Club in Bloomington. The Adult Day program provides speech, art, and music therapy for those with Alzheimer's disease or dementia. And lately, the songs they're singing have gotten a lot more personal.
And I sang that for her during our wedding. That's the reason I cried. I'm kidding.
Students at Indiana University create customized playlists that help these seniors trigger memories. They start by asking each participant about the role of music in their lives.
Not just what's your favorite music, right? But what did you do when you were a little kid? Do you remember, did you ride a bicycle? Oh, did you ever sing songs on your bicycle? Did you have a jukebox that you would, remember using? Or did you have a favorite radio station?
The questions serve as prompts to get the seniors thinking about songs that were important during different years of their lives. The music is loaded onto an iPod shuffle for each participant to use, and you can tell pretty quickly when they're hearing a familiar song. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. Today, the group is using headphones to listen together to songs on each of their playlists. After each song ends, they often talk about its significance to their lives. 101-year-old Bruce Nelson is among the most enthusiastic of the group, often singing with gusto. Music has always been a part of Nelson's life. He's a lifelong churchgoer and enjoys singing hymns. He says some of his favorite songs remind him of growing up in Michigan.
Well, I like songs that we sang when I was a schoolboy. Enjoy those, reminiscing on those.
Nelson's daughter Nancy says she knew the program would be a good fit for her dad. She remembers her parents constantly listening to classical music and going to a lot of concerts.
And he would always sing along to the radio, and you were a great whistler.
But she reminded herself to be realistic in her expectations of the program. Nancy already connects with her dad in many ways, so she wasn't expecting music to make a big difference.
But there's nothing like seeing your important person light up. I mean, that's exactly what happened. Standing next to my dad and listening to him sing hymns has been a lifelong experience. So to get to be able to do that now is remarkable to me. It's just remarkable.
But the program is about more than just bringing people joy. Studies show personalized music listening can reduce some of the everyday symptoms of dementia, therefore increasing quality of life.
The depression, the anxiety, the fears, the confusion, the feeling of sort of being disconnected from yourself, from your past. And if you hear that Chuck Berry song and it just comes right back into you, all of that melts away.
Organizers are hoping to expand the program in the coming year, and at the same time, they're hoping they can help combat perceptions.
Don't assume that because somebody has dementia that it's the end of the road. Dementia changes things, and eventually it can lead to the ultimate end of life for somebody, but the diagnosis itself is not a death sentence. There's a lot of living to be done.
When I dream about the moonlight on the waters, then I long for my Indiana home.
The music and memory course will continue in the fall. Students are also starting a club as well, and they're accepting used iPods to help their efforts of expanding this program. In addition to that, it takes each facility about a $500 to $1,000 initial fee to participate in this national program.
Wow, that is such a great story. Hey, were there any interesting selections from this group?
Yes, Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. One man apparently loved that song, wanted to hear it on repeat.
Love it. Thanks, Barbara. And that's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by the following: IU Health Southern Indiana physicians, primary care and specialty care providers now accepting new patients in Bloomington and throughout South Central Indiana. siphysicians.org. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching and learning in Indiana and around the world. More at education.indiana.edu. Main Source Bank, headquartered in Greensburg, Indiana, offering products and services to fit every stage of life. More information at mainsourcebank.com. Main Source, life needs a great bank. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company. Fiber Internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com.
And by WTIU members, thank you.